On the night of May 3rd, 2007, in a quiet seaside resort in Praia da Luz, Portugal, a 3-year-old girl vanished without a sound, without a witness, and without a trace. Her name was Madeleine McCann. Her face would soon become one of the most recognized in the world. Her disappearance would ignite one of the largest investigations in modern history, spanning continents, involving multiple police forces, private investigators, forensic experts, intelligence professionals, and millions of people around the world who desperately hoped for a safe return. This case remains one of the most haunting and deeply controversial unsolved mysteries of our time. Tonight, we are going to examine every verified detail of the timeline, the investigation, the global response, the evidence that has been made public, the major developments over the years, and why this case continues to grip the world nearly 2 decades later. The story you are about to hear is not only detailed but designed to keep you engaged from start to finish. As we follow a chain of events with twists that continue to shock investigators, reporters, and true crime researchers to this day, it begins with a family holiday. Kate and Gary McCann, both physicians from Leicestershire, England, traveled to Portugal with their 3 children and her younger twin siblings, as well as a group of close friends and their children. The group stayed at the Ocean Club Resort, a family-friendly destination popular with British tourists. During their stay, adults in the group would dine each night at a tapas restaurant located within the resort complex, while the children slept in their apartments. The adults performed rotational checks every 20 to 30 minutes. According to publicly documented statements, this arrangement had been used throughout the vacation without issue, until the night everything changed. On that night, the routine unfolded as usual. The children were put to bed around 7:30 p.m. The group of adults headed to the tapas restaurant around 8:30 p.m. The first few checks revealed nothing out of the ordinary. Then, shortly after 10 p.m., Kate McCann returned to the apartment for her check. She later reported that the bedroom door, which she believed she had left nearly closed, was unusually wide open. When she entered the children's room, she discovered Madeleine was gone. The window was open. The shutters were raised. What followed was confusion, panic, and a resort-wide search that expanded far beyond the Ocean Club grounds. Witness reports became crucial early in the investigation. One of the adults in the group, Jane Tanner, stated she had seen a man walking near the apartment around 9:15 p.m., carrying a child in pajamas. Years later, this sighting was re-evaluated and eventually dismissed after a man was identified who said he was carrying his own child from the resort daycare at that exact time. Another witness, however, a tourist named Martin Smith, reported seeing a different man carrying a child closer to 10 p.m. His description closely matched a profile that would become central years later. Portuguese police, de Polícia Judiciária, launched a large-scale search effort. Hundreds of people combed the area. Roads were blocked. Coastlines were checked. The case was treated at first as a potential missing child incident, but as minutes turned into hours and hours into days, the possibility of an abduction took center stage. Media coverage exploded. Madeleine had a distinctive rare eye condition causing a visible marking in her iris, gave the public a memorable detail that was broadcast across the world. Posters, flyers, billboards, and televised appeals flooded Europe. Portuguese authorities continued the investigation with assistance from British police. As weeks passed, theories multiplied. Every lead was examined. Break-ins, stranger abductions, opportunistic kidnappers, child trafficking rings, mistaken identity, and other possibilities. But no conclusive answers surfaced. In July 2007, new forensic examinations were conducted on the apartment and rental car. The results were highly controversial and widely debated, and ultimately the findings were considered inconclusive by multiple forensic experts, as well as British investigators. By September 2007, tensions between the McCanns and the Portuguese police had escalated. The parents were declared arguidos formal suspects under Portuguese law. This designation was lifted in 2008, along with a statement clarifying that there was insufficient evidence to pursue any charges. From that point forward, the parents were not treated as suspects by British authorities, who shifted focus toward other leads. In 2011, Scotland Yard launched Operation Grange, a full review of the case. They analyzed thousands of documents, identified new persons of interest, and highlighted errors in prior analysis. Investigators suggested that a burglary gone wrong or an opportunistic abduction remained possible explanations. But still, no breakthrough. In 2013, British authorities released age-progressed images of Madeleine, attempting to renew global attention. Other sightings were reported in various countries, but none were verified. Social media exploded with speculation, misinformation, and amateur theories, many of which were dismissed by officials. The case remained active, but stagnant. Everything changed in 2020 when German authorities identified a new suspect, a convicted sex offender named Christian Bruckner, who was known to be living in Portugal at the time of Madeleine's disappearance. German investigators stated publicly that they believed Madeleine was dead, and that Bruckner was involved, though as of today no charges have been brought specifically for the case due to insufficient evidence. He denies involvement despite years of investigation, countless interviews, and international coordination. No confirmed physical trace of Madeleine has been found. The case remains officially unsolved. In the years that followed, investigators continued examining new information, analyzing digital evidence, interviewing witnesses, and searching locations associated with individuals of interest. Public appeal campaigns urged anyone with knowledge, no matter how small, to come forward. The McCanns maintained hope and continued their requests for information. The world watched every update, still hoping for answers. Why does this case remain so compelling? Because it reflects the deepest fear any parent could imagine. Because it highlights complexities in international policing. Because major developments occur even years later. And because until definitive answers are found, the world continues to search. As more time passes, DNA technology advances, digital forensics evolve, and new witnesses occasionally emerge. The case still receives global support, and law enforcement maintains that it will remain open until all leads are exhausted. Tonight's examination of this case shows the remarkable size of the investigation, the complicated timeline, the evolving theories, and the emotional weight carried by millions following the story. Madeleine McCann's disappearance remains one of the most intensely investigated missing persons cases in history. And even after all these years, one thing has never changed: the hope that the truth will one day come to light.